Hello Goblins, it's Chris, Eldritch Pipes, here for my top 10 pipe tobaccos of 2020. This is not tobaccos released in 2020, this is just the top 10 tobaccos that I reach for all the time this year. That's the benchmark, the ones that I'm actually smoking all the time. Before we get there, I'm just going to show you a pipe. If you were watching the last episode of A Shadow over Innsmouth, I was sanding a deep one. That pipe is now finished. And there he is. It's quite a challenge to make, I'll admit. There's quite a lot of elements going on in the design. There you go. A deep one. And also, one more pipe. This guy is available. So if you're interested, email me. It is a reading pipe. It is a chocolate sandblast, plateau rim, and it's in my amber resin. The blast came out quite nice. I'd call it medium blast. So not that deep, but quite a lot of detail. So quite pleased with him. There you go. It's about 7.5 inches long, and the chamber is 2 inches deep. So he is a good smoke. All right. Now these are in no particular order. I'm not going from, worst to best or anything like that. These are just the tobaccos that I've been going for this year. Some, if you look at my older lists, some have dropped out of the list this year for various reasons. And there are some new entries, which is very exciting. Let's begin. At number 10, go from 10 to 1, even though I said there's no best or worst. But at number 10, Germain's Rich Dark Flake. It's basically a staple. A Virginia Burley. If you've never had it, you should have. It should be a cornerstone of anyone's rotation. It's just something special. And I don't think there's anything very much like it either. It's a very mysterious blend. Number 9. To be fair, I've been smoking this one a while as well, but because this one comes from the States, I have to keep a lid on how much I consume of it. It is the Seattle Pipe Club's Mississippi River. This is an amazing tobacco. It comes in these lovely, chunky, compact flakes, sort of a crumble cake format. It's got nearly everything in it. It's a Virginia, Latakia, Oriental, Perique, so it doesn't fit into any easy category. I suppose you could call it a Latakia mix. Maybe that'd be the best way. And it's sublime. And it's quite unique as well. And it's a crumble cake. It's a really lovely format. It just sort of falls apart. Smokes really cool. Number 8. This is one that I've been smoking for a few years, but did discover quite late in my pipe smoking career. It was brought back to me from a friend who visited the States, and they've happened to visit the L.J. Peretti store, and they brought back number 8 slice, which is, again, it's another super unique blend. It's a vapor, a spicy vapor with some barley in it, but that kind of doesn't really give you the Virginia's really that sour variety, kind of vinegary, I suppose, in that sense. If you used to smoke McClelland, it's evocative of that style, but is its own thing. I think they press the flakes in their store. I'm not absolutely certain. Number 7. This is another cornerstone for me. It's like in the wheelhouse of flavours, you've got to have this one. Otherwise, you're just not covering your bases. It is HH Old Dark Fired. This is something special. It really makes a feature of the Dark Fired blend. I've just gone and got tobacco flakes all over my notes. And that dark fired flavour, it just sings in this. I don't know a blend that is like Old Dark Fired, except for its even bigger brother, Bold Kentucky. But that's only for people who really like their strong tobaccos. And I do occasionally, so I do have some Bold Kentucky and go for that, but that's an every once in a while. Old Dark Fired is a staple and is a must-have as far as I'm concerned. Number 6. This has been on my list, I think, ever since I had a list. It's been one of my favourites of all time. It is GLP's Westminster. There's not many sort of English, what do you call this in English? I forget. It doesn't say on the tin, or if it does, I'm just not reading fast enough to get to it. It's a Latakia blend, but it's a real savoury Latakia. It's not sweet. There's little to no sweetness in this. This is a really herbal, it's just a herbal, smoky blend that when your sweet tooth is tired and you need something else, this is a great one. I always come back to that sooner or later. Okay, halfway through. Yes, there are a fair amount of Latakia blends on here. And I'm picking up another one as I speak. Number 5. So this is a new one for me. It is Germain's King Charles, which is just... First of all, it's got the Germain's Virginia thing going on. It's just so strange. It's just really nice. It feels aged. That's what I kind of like about it. The Latakia in it is soft and funky. Soft and funky. But it's not in your face. Someone pointed out to me that this is a possibly just a ribbon cut of the special Latakia flake, which I was not impressed by at all. Which kind of, if that is true, it just goes to show you that how important the cut is, and how important in the range of tools a blender has, how important is the cut, because it can really alter the profile. And we'll come back to that point. soon. Another new one. Okay. This one kind of came at me from nowhere. But it's just, if you haven't had it, it's quite difficult to explain how great it is. But Chem Ventures Verge Engine Overdrive, it's a vapor. Technically it's a vapor, but it really doesn't get to the heart of it. It's it's a spicy, sweet, amazing adventure. It's just got lots going on, and it's just one of those ones. It calls to me every now and then. I have to keep going back to it. And that's just the way it is. All right. Aha. Number 3. I don't know when they started producing this one, but it might have been last year. It is Germain's. If you can read that, it's the 1820 flake. Specifically the flake. So we're talking about cuts. The 1820, I think it comes as just like a ribbon cut normally. And again, that version is kind of nothing special. It's okay. It's nice. But then Chris Parry at the Black Swan asked them to form it into a crumble cake, which they did. This is it. And it's just stellar. It is, as you may know, the Penzance look-alike blend. I have done a side-by-side comparison. They are very close. It's always difficult to say if something is exactly the same. Is this thing that thing? It's hard to say, but they are very close. Very close indeed. The closest you can get. And I'm more than happy with it, which is why I think this year is the first year that Penzance is not in my list. Because it's the 1820 flake that I've been going for. So there, Penzance. I still have a pot of Penzance and other bits and bobs, but I haven't needed to open them because 1820 flake is around. There you go. Number 2. Speaking of esoterica, I don't know if you can read this. It's actually Tilbury. Why, of all the esoterica blends, have I picked Tilbury for my list? It's the one straight Virginia. I think it is a straight Virginia. I think it's a straight Virginia. That I really enjoy. It just is that kind of mellow, buttery, toasty. In my mind, it's like this ideal Virginia thing. And it's just so easy to smoke that it's just, its flavour profile is like nothing else in my normal rotation. It's very much its own thing, and I've never tasted anything like it. I've also never tasted any straight Virginia blends that taste like it, so it's one of those things. I enjoy it a lot. It's not a complex blend. It's just one of those ones where it does what it does really nicely. Which brings me to number 1. This is a blend that I was only introduced to very recently, but it's become a big favourite of mine. I don't have it in a jar, or I only have it in the bag that it came in, but it is Peter Heinrich's Dark Strong Flake. And it's just the aroma and the flavour. I described it before as just being like this kind of ideal, it's like the idealised tobacconist smell. It's that amazing smell when you open a tobacconist door and you walk in, and it's like the waft of everything, all the different tobaccos sitting in their jars, some Latakia blends, some aromatics. And in fact, although this is a Virginia Kentucky blend, there is a topping on it. It is noticeable, so I think technically that makes this an aromatic. And I really like it. So that's my top 10. I'm just going to sign off with honourable mentions. There are 2 blends that I wanted to put on my list, and I was umming and ahhing about it. But ultimately, I have to admit, I haven't been smoking them. So, the first one was the HH Acadian Perique. I really loved that blend. It's a vapor, but it just doesn't top some of the other vapors that I've been smoking. The Verge Engine Overdrive, the number 8 Slice, that kind of thing. So Acadian Perique has taken a back seat for the time being, even though it's a fantastic blend. And the other one that has been on my list since the beginning was Dunhill's Dark Flake. And it is still one of my all-time favourites. But since they went out of production to 2 years back, something like that, and then no one knew what was happening, I got out of the habit of smoking it and just I had a couple of tins just cellared, and I just stopped smoking it, terrified of running out. Then of course Peterson's picked up the license and have been making it. I still haven't done the taste test comparison yet, but it's something I intend to do. I think it'll probably be one of the first things I do next year now. But I still haven't cracked a tin open, and so I haven't smoked it. I've gotten out of the habit. I'm going to have to change that situation, but this year I haven't smoked Dunhill Dark Flake, and so it doesn't make the list. All right. If you're doing Listen with Eldritch, I will catch you on Monday for the next episode. If not, I think that's just about it for me this year. I think I'm going to take a bit of a break, but I will catch you in the new year, probably for some reviews and who knows what. I'm definitely thinking of my next section of Pipe Maker series videos. So I've got a few ideas what I'm going to do. It'll just be about doing my research. All right. Until the next time, take it very easy. Your loyal pipe maker.